I'm just here to quickly announce that, like, I still know you exist. I still know you exist. I've just been in my flop era. Y'all, this case is actually difficult. University. I literally remember the time, and I remember it was my friend. We were on a FaceTime call together, and I was like, bro, how difficult can it be to get through university? Like, both her and I are like top achiever. Like, if we're not at the top of the list, that's the wrong list that you have in your hands. But guess what? I'm no longer at the top of lists. I remember I told this friend, we were literally on a call waiting for our matric results. And I'm like to her, bro, do you think we can get like cum laude in uni, like easily? Like, yeah, easy. To get one distinction has been the most difficult thing for me. I know some of my friends, like, as they pop out distinctions, like, nothing, bro. Like, boom, distinction, boom, another distinction, boom, another distinction. What I did learn, though, is that I'm not a person who, like, as much as I don't want it to sound, like, as much as I don't want to be, I'm not a person who's, like, naturally smart. If I put in the work, okay, we'll see the results. But to be a person who just shows up out of the blue and boom, I perform like a superstar, that's not who I am. And it's been so difficult to try to put in all of that much work while you still have a whole life to live. I remember the last time I spoke to you, I was literally complaining about finances. I think I'm going to be talking to you about finances for the next 10 years of my life, unfortunately, because money is such a difficult thing to keep. Everything costs money in this economy. Everything costs money. Nothing is free. And unfortunately, I like doing things. I like going out. I like seeing people. Like, all of that requires money. So, but yeah, that's not what we're going to talk about today. What we're going to talk about is the fact that I still exist, hey? Like, I do still exist. I very much do exist. As much as sometimes I wouldn't like to exist, I do exist. I'm joking. That was so deep and so dark for no reason. But yeah, I do exist. Hey, one of my lecturers literally changed my life today. I got an email from a lecturer and she was like, hey, you haven't been performing as well as you're supposed to be. What's up? And she asked me, like, oh, is it because of this? Is it because of that? Like, how have you been doing? And I'm just like, it's so strange that you actually care this much about little old me. I thought lecturers were supposed to be busy with life-changing research, record-breaking findings and discoveries. Yet they genuinely do care about the students that they actually teach. And it's so shocking because I was told in high school that lecturers don't care about you. So how do you explain all of this stuff that's happening right now?
Exactly. And I told her, I say, man,
books aside and school aside, it's also so sad that I'm going to be talking about school for so long now. At least for the next 10 years, you'll be hearing me talk about school in some way, shape, or form. It reminds me of a conversation I was having with my friend, another friend over the phone, where she was like, what's happening? People are always complaining about, people who take like demanding courses. I put demanding like this because low-key, every course is demanding. Like, every course is demanding. I feel like there's just some courses that force you to pay attention to them. And then there are some courses where you can, like, take it easy just a bit. But eventually it's going to come back and bite you. And then you're going to have to put in the hours. So some people who take demanding courses are always complaining about school and talking about school. And not to say that what I was taking is like the most demanding course or anything like that, but I was like, I'm starting to behave like those people who are always complaining about school or constantly talking about school. And I got tired of talking about school shame. That can't be the only thing that we talk about. There's so much to life than school, so much more to life than school. If you're a recruiter, there's nothing to life other than school. I love school with my whole heart. Please give me the job. But so I was like, nah, let me stop talking. Then I'm like, okay, what else is there to talk about? Genuinely nothing. When you come here, everything revolves around school. At some point, you're going to touch a pen and a paper, and it is school. You're at school. It's also so strange that I actually live in a raise. Like, we're almost at 2 years of me living in raise. If I could just go back in time and tell my high school self that, Anna, you're going to live in raise and you're going to go take dumps on the toilet without a care in the world, I think you're lying. Because I used to have this crippling fear of making a bowel movement outside of my own home. I remember in LO, I literally asked my teacher, I raised my hand in LO in matric, and I'm like, hey ma'am, like, what happens if you struggle to go to the toilet and now you're moving to a raise? Like, can someone die from such a thing? She's like, no, eventually you're gonna go poo. I'm like, you don't know who I am. I will hold that thing in until the end of the semester and go back home and poo. She's like, you'll see. I can't remember when was the first time I went to go poo, but I even remember it's a thing of like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't make noise. Like, if I need to fart on the toilet, like, the toilet part mustn't echo and like reverberate and all that stuff. No, I'm free. This is my house too. Like, I'll go to that toilet, release a load, and come back like nothing ever happened. Something that I found that works a lot, like it works all the time, is as long as you go in there with headphones in and you listen to your music, you'll be good. Like, if you can't hear it, it's like a trick that I play on myself. If I can't hear it, that means no one can hear it, and then we're all good. But enough toilet talk. I genuinely forgot what I was talking about earlier on, but let me talk about music. Let me actually grab my iPad and share with you my favorite songs and playlists and all of that stuff lately, because music is so hard to come across these days on Spotify. Your days are numbered, just know that.
Trust, you will be dealt with. Period.
Spotify. Let me tell you about Spotify. Spotify has been a mess lately. I don't know what's going on. The day list has been good, but the Discover Weekly was the highlight of my Spotify. And the fact that there aren't that many Discover Weeklies that I've enjoyed in the past few months, that's concerning. That really is concerning. So let's go through my albums. The albums I've been listening to lately. Cowboy Carter. I remember when I'm so scared to talk about Cowboy Carter, because I hope to never get to a point where I'm being dragged on the internet by some stand-up for something. And that's why I'm so scared to talk about Cowboy Carter. I remember the first time I listened to Cowboy Carter, I was with my friend. We listened to it together over the phone. Another friend. And both her and I were like, this is not the album for us. But within the last 3 months, if I can say, that album has touched me. It really has touched me. Let me see. City Cinderella by JT. I really love that album. Lotus Glow by Eddie Oasis is an amazing album. Open This Wall by Berlioz has been a great album. Also, Megan Thee Stallion's Megan album. I haven't listened to the whole album, and I think I might like it. Oh my gosh. Literally last week, I listened to the Notorious B.I.G.'s Ready to Die, because I was watching a video essay by Herbie, and he was talking about something about black men and something, and that album sounded, the way he described that album, the way they described that album, made it seem like it was a good album. I actually didn't really enjoy the album, shame, but there were a good 5 songs on that album that I did like. Yeah, I'm seeing... Oh, J-Rock. I've been in a very hip-hop, very intense hip-hop rap kind of mood lately, hey? I don't know what happened. I think Glorilla inspired me, because I love Glorilla. My top 5 right now, currently, at this moment, and it can change. It's in no particular order. Glorilla, Cardi B, Doechii, JT, and I'd say Megan Thee Stallion. Shame, although I don't listen to her like that. I've been listening to a lot of songs that feature her in it. Will I have background music to this video? And this is where I actually do want to ask you, what do you prefer? Should I just talk no music? Should I have background music? And what I'm gonna try and attempt right now is like to play with music, play with sounds, let's add a few more layers to this video, like these videos or these little diary sessions that I have with you, because I don't know, man, I'm allowed to experiment and create. Romantically, is Chawezi seeing anyone? No, he is not. People say you fall in love, you meet the love of your life in university.
I would like to see it.
My time here is not done though, so I'm not entirely defeated by that. But also, I can't even lie to you, hey? You get so busy, or I've been so busy lately, shame, I can't even lie, where I'm like, yo, imagine if I was dating someone right now. Yes, I understand that you're no longer lonely, you get to share so many moments with someone, and this person gets to see you grow and all of that stuff. But at the same time, do I really want to be in a relationship right now? Not really, no thank you. I feel like I have enough friends to share many moments with, and have many growing experiences with. So I'm not really in the rush to like, oh, here I am with this one person and now we're gonna be together until we get married. Whoa, let's take it easy. I have the whole rest of my life to find the love of my life. Also, I feel like, I don't know, I just don't feel like there's that much pressure here to get into a relationship. I don't know, man. I could just be used to being lonely, and then this is just me saying a sad story about how, oh my gosh, I'm enjoying being single, because no, I'm not. It's not something I think about that often. I wanna know though, I really do wanna see, like, if I could have a fast forward button, what would it look like for me to be in a relationship? Not saying I want to commit to a relationship right now. I just want to know, like, what am I getting myself into if I were to start a relationship right now? Is it something that's even going to last long term? I don't know how I feel about, and this one I'm actually asking you, this is a question I'm asking you. How do you feel about being in a relationship with someone when you both are still very young? Because someone told me, oh no, it's better to be in a relationship with someone when you're much younger versus meeting someone in your 30s and then the both of you end up like getting married or whatever until you both die. Because this person has actually watched you grow and you both have grown together. I took that, I heard that, and I said that's a bunch of bull. Because what's wrong with getting in a relationship with someone when you're much older? I understand that you haven't seen each other grow together, but you still can grow together. I don't see why a 35-year-old and another 35-year-old being in a relationship and starting their relationship when they're 35 totally skips the whole growing together part. I still think you are, like, come on now, you can grow together. Like, personally, like, if you were to ask me, okay, Chazi, when do you think you'll be ready for a relationship? I would like for myself to have done a lot of growing of my own, because how am I gonna get into a relationship and now I'm not very sure of who I am or very sure of what I'm. Ask me right now, what are you gonna wear tomorrow? I don't know. I don't even plan my outfits. Now I must know what kind of person I want, like what I look for in a relationship. I do understand that you can explore, and like dating helps you explore and see what you like and what you don't like. And I watched so many videos. I actually watched a video of someone saying that, like, oh no, advice in your 20s is figure out what you like in a partner, what you want and what you can't do. And I understand that you cannot do that with dating. I feel like you can do that without being in a relationship. Like, you can be dating and seeing people. One of my friends described it as having lovers, because what Shakespeare always said, they have lovers. and you just know, okay, they had many people who they had like flings with and all that stuff. And I feel like, yeah, you can have lovers, but like, be in a relationship. What's the rush, man? Like, genuine, what's the rush? I'm still very young, very fresh, very fertile. Let me save up my coins, freeze my sperm cells, and take it easy. Someone said to me that, like, oh no, aren't you robbing your child? If you have a child, aren't you robbing them of something if you have a child when you're like much older versus when you're younger? Because I said, Shim, I don't mind having a child in my 40s, like my first child in my 40s or something like that. Because genuine, when I have a child, if I have a child, just know my pockets are fat. Because I never want to say no to my child because I cannot afford something. If my child has a passion or a hobby or an interest, I really want to be the parent that throws everything at it. And even if they don't want to, and shame, if you're my child and you're watching this in how many years time, just know I thought about you, hey? I really thought about you, like, since back in the day. So don't ever say I don't care about you or ever come with that nonsense of, oh my gosh, I hate you. Because what do you mean you hate me? If they ever take on a passion or an interest and I've thrown everything at it and they end up saying, okay, I actually don't like this thing, we can both sit down and be like, why don't you like it? What did you learn from it? Okay, and then what do you want to do next? And then we move on to the next thing. Because I very much was a person who had I still am a person who has 10,000 different interests. Ask me what I'm interested in right now and what I'm interested in the next 2 weeks. You're going to hear two different, you'll think it's two entirely different people. And I remember there was a point in my childhood where there were some things that I couldn't do because my parents could not afford to do it. And I still appreciate a lot of the sacrifices that they've made for me. It's just so sad when you think back. And I think I had this conversation with my mom. I'm so grateful we had that conversation. But she was like, yeah, it was so sad. I remember one thing, for example, I wanted to do orchestra. And at school, you were able to rent the instruments from orchestra. And she said, Shame, it breaks my heart that I couldn't let you do orchestra because we couldn't afford to let you be in the orchestra. We couldn't afford to have you in the orchestra. Versus now, where my siblings are able to do sports at universities and all of that stuff. And I'm not mad at them. I'm not jealous of them. I'm actually very happy for them because now they are able to try out different things. And I feel like I'll be able to do that when I'm in my 40s, man. With my own child. Me thinking I would stop recording. So I feel like, no, in my 40s, I'll be able to do a lot of that and be able to do a lot of things for my child versus having a child when I'm like in my late 20s, 30s. Someone did say, is it not selfish of you because you're robbing them of time with you? And that was deep. It had me thinking a lot. But I'm like, why do we have to think of it negatively like that? Why can't we just think of it as okay, fine, but like, am I not doing good to my child because I'm trying to make sure that even though the time we have together is not going to be as much as if I'd had you earlier, I'm trying my best to make sure that the time we have together is the best time I can give to you. You know? So we'll still think about that. I'm still very young and I am in no rush to be thinking about children. It's actually so hectic that I'm even talking about children to you right now. But that's all I really wanted to tell you. Hey, please let me know if you like videos like this, like the way I did this whole editing and whatever thing with the sound and the music and the blah 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 blah. Let me know if you like it. I really am just trying things out. Cause I'm genuine. Now I want to find a creative outlet. These diary sessions and these whatevers, I miss doing them. I know some of my friends really enjoyed watching them. It felt like such a nice place to let you know what I've been doing. And this is a diary. Like, I've kept this YouTube space of myself to create a little pocket in the internet where I can document my existence, because your existence matters. You matter, you existed, so why not document that? Also, I sometimes make videos for my siblings. Make videos for my siblings, hoping that if they ever get stuck in the future, they can see what I went through, and then they can be like, oh, okay, he got out of it, so that means I'll also get out of it. So, yeah, how I do that, we'll see. But anyways, I will see you in the next video. I do not know when that is, unfortunately. If I see you next week, great. If I don't see you next week, just know I lost my mind. Bye-bye.